Now, I don't... It's very rare that this happens on the sofa, and I don't know if any of you... Have any of you been arrested? Oh, you have?
Oh,
briefly.
I knew it.
Briefly, sister. Not for the same noble reasons that you were.
But I've never seen your mugshot. Is there a mugshot of you somewhere?
Nah, the lads didn't have film in the camera back in the day. Nah, I spent one night in the clanger and that was it. It was
right.
a drunken issue.
Because I love your mugshot. I mean, you use this mug. I mean, you sell it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow.
You sell the picture on... You do mugshots.
T-shirts, mugs. Mugshot. Right?
Yeah.
So amazing. I mean, it's like an actor's headshot.
Yeah, that's a clever mugshot.
What I like is the fist bump is also because...
Well, see, I'm double-jointed, so they put the handcuffs on, but I can slip right out.
With no handcuffs. And why were you arrested?
Oh, God. Oh, because Nixon had it out for me, and... they had me I was flying in from Canada, and they had me stopped at the airport. The arresting officer told me it was orders from the White House. And in those days, I used to take a lot of vitamin pills, and they were all in little plastic envelopes marked BLD, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they said I was smuggling drugs. It took a month for them to, you know, to find out that they were vitamins. But I was told it was Nixon.
What else? Oh, I need to talk to you about protesting. Because famously, now, you love a good protest.
Well, I don't look forward to them, no.
You've been on a hell of a lot of them.
I have, yeah.
Because how often have you been arrested now?
Well, I've been arrested 67 times for protesting. We call it non-violent civil disobedience.
How much time have you actually spent in prison?
No, not prison, no. The longest time I ever did in one stretch was just 3 days, you know, in a jail in Washington, Norton, it's called. I've been on probation for 3 years. In fact, I did a protest at an Air Force base against the missile system while I was doing the West Wing, and it got kind of touchy because my lawyer advised me if I went on trial, I could lose, in which case I'd have to go to jail and leave the West Wing. That wouldn't look too good on any scale. So we plea bargained for 3 years probation.
Because Ed's been on an anti-nuclear protest as well.
Really?
I had years ago, though. It was when the French were testing nuclear weapons in Montreal in the South Pacific, and we were all outside the French embassy doing it.
Well, I was doing it in L.A.
Yeah, it was quite cool. I swear, this is true. I had the crowd doing a chant, which I had made up, which was, "What do we want? No nukes. When do we want them? We don't want them." All these proper hardcore crusty protesters were even like doing the comedy pause and everything. We don't want them. It was actually quite sweet.
Cher, your mom is still with us.
Yes.
Now it's not funny, but I do think a brilliant bit of advice that you should share is her 5-year rule.
If it doesn't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter.
Isn't that a good thing to... If something bad happens, you kind of think, will I care about this in 5 years?
And so it always helps me. It always comes in handy.
No, I read that, and I just thought that
Brilliant.
is actually a genius bit of advice. Really, really good. And I wonder, did she come up with that thinking when you were a teenager? Because you were quite a wild child, I would say.
All right. I was wilder when I was 9 years old than I ever was as a teenager.
Okay.
I ran away from home, I stole a horse, I jumped on a freighter, and kept going until my girlfriend started crying for her mother.
Oh, how did you get back?
I called my mother.
but this is, no, like, you say you... How old... This is Cher's... I don't know if it's her only, but it's certainly your first mugshot. How old...
Oh, my God, that's not true. That's not true. I did it, but I didn't get arrested for it.
What's that from, then?
That's my school picture when the 8th grade. They just put that... I swear to God, I would cop to it if it was true.
Why did it say Los Angeles Police in front of it?
Because some, like, rag magazine thought it was funny, and I actually did, too. But, so, all right, I learned how to drive when I was 11. So my girlfriend...
Not wild, really.
No, my grandfather taught me. It wasn't a big deal. So my friend had a boyfriend, And he said he had to go in. We were at a bowling alley. He said, I have to go in. I have to say something to a friend. I'll be there for 4 seconds. And we waited, and he didn't come out. And so then the girl said, Sherry, you know how to drive. Let's just drive around the parking lot. I said, okay. And then he didn't come out. So, Sherry, let's just drive around the block. And so he didn't come out, and I just thought, well, I'm going to take us out. And so we went to a drive-in to get something to drink, and we got arrested. But not exactly arrested, just taken to jail. No, honestly, just taken to jail. Just with a warning.
That's right. Natalie Dormer, have you ever been in jail?
No.
Have you never been arrested?
Unfortunately not.
Were you like a perfect child?
I haven't had the wild years that maybe Cher has had. No,
Were you head girl?
I was head girl. Damn you. Yeah. You know, you never know. The next few years, I might suddenly break free, Graham.
Yeah.
I save it for my roles, darling. I save it for my roles.
Yeah, rock out. Yeah, very good. Where are you going after this?
New York, China, and I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
You're not doing China?
No. I lied and told him I'm on a movie.
But now, have you sorted out all your visas? Because I know, was it when you were auditioning for the first X-Men?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. You had to come here to do it?
This is just like, this is just humiliate Jennifer Day. I was auditioning for the first X-Men. My passport was expiring under 6 months, which apparently you're not supposed to travel, blah, blah, blah. So they were like, whatever you do, don't tell them that you're here for work, because they'll ask for a work visa. Say you're here for pleasure. And I'm like, oh, my good God. I have to lie to a customs officer. And so I'm working myself up so much through the line. I'm like, okay, I just have to have a backstory. I got a backstory, and I have to believe it. And so it gets there, and he was like, business or pleasure? And I was like, pleasure? What are you doing for pleasure? My brother's getting married. And he's like, where's he getting married? Wimbledon. Is he American? Yes. Do you have an invitation? No. Are you telling the truth? No. I'm here for work, and I don't have a work visa, and my passport expires, and I'm not even supposed to be here. And then I had to sit in a tiny little jail for like 5 hours while they called my employer. I felt tiny.
But Jack, didn't you have a problem going the other way?
Yeah, I've just been in New York to do some press in New York. And the man at the customs that stamps the passports, he was like, what is your occupation? And I was like, comedian. He was like, are you as funny as Jerry Seinfeld? I was like, no. He was like, correct. Nice to meet you too.
Oh, dear. Now, presumably it's a very different sort of tour than... Because reading about you, you were notorious when you're in the old days, when you were touring.
Oh, well, smashing up hotels.
Yeah.
Well, it's nothing I'm really proud of. It happened, you know. It was the Who started it, I think, and the Faces followed on.
And on a Rod Stewart tour now, is there still a lifetime ban in Tucson, Arizona? Apparently no hotel will have you.
I don't go to Tucson, Arizona anymore.
But in Tucson, what did you do? You derailed a train or something?
Yeah, it was about 4... No, not a real train. It was a kid's train that went round the Holiday Inn. We all started pushing it, you know, and then put a brick under the wheels, and it all went over. And then the police came, we all got arrested. I'm not proud of it, though.
Wait a minute. You say you're not proud. No. Didn't you go back to Tucson?
Yeah,
to
we
that
did.
same hotel?
And they wouldn't let us in.
So you... But then you did check in, didn't you?
Yeah, we checked in as Fleetwood Mac. Honest, yeah.
And when you were on tour, because you just finished your We're Never Touring Again, Farewell the World.
Yes.
Is it all very hot chocolate, or do you go a bit wild as well?
No, it is mostly hot chocolate and just chocolate. But we did decide, on the very last day of this tour, Jennifer and I went out to buy some presents for our crew, some of whom had done, you know, hundreds of shows with us. And we were busy, you know, spending the money on them. And I sat down for lunch with her, and we did have, a couple of jars. And we said, this is the last night we're ever going to do this, and I haven't bought you anything. That's ridiculous. We've been working together for 30 years. I haven't bought anything for you. What would I buy you? You don't need another necklace. You don't need a thing. Anyway, we were thinking about it. And we said, what a shame we can't mark it in some way. And as we were walking back to our hotel, we passed a tattoo parlour. And we did the thing that I've told my daughter never to do, which is be impetuous about a tattoo. And we went in, and we said, right, oh my God, we're in. Once you're over the threshold, that's it, you're in. And some very nervous-looking young rock and rollers were looking at us like, oh, my God, old women have come in. This is going to be flappy skin. Oh, difficult to mark. And so I have these two little stars here, and she has them on her ankle, so that's me and that's her. Frankly, I could have done better with a compass and some quink. There it is. Can you see it there?
It's very Lord of the Rings, going to New Zealand and having little tattoos and
yeah, well, you know, 30 years together. She's my soul sister.
Oh. Are you inked? Have you got ink, tattoos?
Yeah, I've got a couple, yeah.
Have you?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, they're right up here.
All right,
So,
yeah.
One's a Scottish lion and one's the heather. I know what you're talking about with the girls.
Yeah.
Because I've got 3 girls and all bordering on the idea of having tattoos. The oldest one, Kimberly, she's got Daddy's Girl written near her bottom. It's cute, isn't it? Daddy's Girl.
It's cute now, when she's 75 and in a, you know, open gown in a hospital. What
are we going to do with them when we get older? What are we going to do with them?
I can't get any older.
She's peaked.
Oh, lovely.
In your tour next year, because you're already booking the tour next year.
Well, yeah, the tour this year's finished, and then I've got the next one is booked, yeah.
But I noticed you're doing fewer dates.
Slightly fewer. It's over a longer... It's like 2012, 2013 for the next tour, the Gagging Order tour. And then slightly to do with having a bit more time at home, you know, because I was away so much. Getting into that argument, my girlfriend sort of saying to me, you treat this house like a hotel. It's that thing of when you're away a lot. I mean, you guys must know. When you're away from home, when you travel... You know, when I travel, I get lovesick. Well, they call it chlamydia. I mean, we have a really good... We've been together 10 years, so we've got a great relationship. But you do occasionally get into, you know, just the regular arguments that couples get into, you know. We always get into arguments. It's the same situation. Like, we went to a party, like, it was only a week ago. We went to a party, great party, really fun. 2:30 in the morning, I'm driving home. So I'm driving, I haven't had anything to drink, 0 units of alcohol. She's had quite a lot to drink in terms of units of alcohol, but she's not drunk. And I know she's not drunk because she told me 400 times. So I'm driving along, she's talking a lot, I'm listening a little. My bad. But in my defence, she was telling me about the evening in real time. And I had been there. And she gets to the point in the evening where a mutual friend of ours had said something that she didn't like. So it's a girl that we both knew. Caroline was telling me, she said, that girl said my dress was short. And I agreed. I said, yeah, it is short. She goes from 0 to 100% angry in 2 minutes. She goes, you taking her side? You taking her side? Go back to the party, pick her up, I'll drive her home, and I'll just walk home on my fat little legs that can't even wear a short skirt. She goes crazy. Within 30 seconds, she's opening the car door. She's not wearing a seatbelt. She's opening the car door. We're doing 40 miles an hour in the middle of nowhere. She's opening the car door. I had to stop the car. Of course, as soon as I stop the car, she's out. Teetering up the road on heels. No coat, no keys, no money, no phone, no idea where she's going. I have to do the dutiful boyfriend thing of driving along at 4 miles an hour. Going, come on, get back in the car. It's all my fault. It's not my fault. I've done nothing. Come on, get back in the car. I'll buy you chips. Anyway, long story short, I got arrested for trying to pick up a prostitute.
The two of you working together, you and Emma, obviously brother and sister in Love Actually, which you forget that you're the brother and sister in that movie, and then lovers in Sense and Sensibility. Beautiful. Of course.
He was so grumpy all the time. So grumpy. He knew me, he'd known me for years. There was nothing there for him. He knew that I wasn't going to cough up. Actually, he couldn't have been less interested. I'm trying to make it look good. But in fact...
I did let you down on that. I was grumpy, fat, bad, and got arrested halfway through the...
Yeah. Well, you were so famous because you hadn't been famous. We'd done 2 films together where neither of us was famous, and then you were suddenly very famous because of 4 Weddings.
What were those other 2 films?
Impromptu, where you played Chopin in a terrible wig. And The Remains of the Day, where you got killed in the war.
Yes, very sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, the thing I must ask you about, because when your co-stars were here for Monuments Men, Matt Damon...
Oh, my God, that show.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, he talked about how mean you were to him on set. So, you didn't torture these people?
Not... No.
Nothing we know about so far.
Don't go to your hotel room.
Because famously, you have this ongoing thing with Brad Pitt.
So I've done some terrible things to Brad. Wait, Brad's done some terrible things to me, too.
So how did it start?
I don't remember how. We were doing Ocean's 11, I think it was the first one. And I don't remember what it was. I think initially, one of my favorite things is to get those things that go around your license plate or a bumper sticker, because you never go to the back of your car and look. And put it on people's cars, because it's funny and they can ride around, you know, with some horrible, you know, embarrassing bumper sticker. And I found a bumper sticker in the shape of a pot plant that said, cops. I put it on the back of his car because I figured there's no way you don't get pulled over. I mean, there's no way. And he got pulled over. And then he went on, I think, Letterman and said, you know, Letterman asked him when he and Angie would get married, and he said, when George can legally marry in the United States. He didn't want to. And it just kept going back and forth with that for a while. And then it was, I had stationery made up with his name, and then I would send letters to other actors from Brad Pitt. I sent Meryl Streep a letter from Brad, where I got a big thing of CDs that had, it was a dialect coach. And he had like every dialect, you know, Gaelic, Yiddish, every dialect you could possibly, and it's a huge thing. And I sent it to her with a note from Brad that said, you know, I hear you're gonna be doing the Iron Lady soon. This guy helped me with my dialect in Troy or something. You know, here, I thought maybe this would help. And I sent it to Meryl, and, you know, she's very confused. I understand it. And I sent letters to lots and lots of people from Brad.
And is that you don't tell either of them?
I don't tell either, no. I later, like a year or 2 years later, I let them know, and then they're like, are you kidding me? I'm doing one now that I can't tell you about, but in a year you're going to hear that I've been arrested. I'm not kidding, because I think I've crossed the line.
Oh, no. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's exciting. I have a wife, she's a barrister, I'll be fine.
Very quickly, talking about food, Mary Berry, I've interviewed you here a few times and on the radio a few times, and I felt like I knew you pretty well.
And?
But I hear that Claudia Winkleman, over the course of this series, discovered a dark secret from the Berry history.
Well, we had a lot of time to chat.
Yeah. We're together, we were stuck together, mainly because I also followed Mary home, which was weird on occasion. But this is what I love most about Mary, is we all feel like we know Mary, we know she's amazing. And it was week 2, they were making a moussaka. It takes time. Mary and I sitting there in the green room, snuggled under a blanket.
Because it was cold, wasn't
Always
it? And
cold.
the boys didn't like it.
No. And we're sitting there, and Mary turns to me and went, here, did I tell you about when I was arrested? To which, I swear to God, I just drop what I'm on. I don't just go, what? And, well, it was about 25 years ago.
25 years ago, I was asked to go to America to do cookery demonstrations.
Yes.
And I'm very particular at getting everything right. And I also try to look ahead. So I thought I ought to have my recipes, all the ingredients weighed out in case the plane is late or in case the connections aren't right.
You understand
I could go
what's coming.
straight on stage to do my presentation, cookery demonstration. Yeah. And so I weighed out each recipe in little bags, and I had the flour and the sugar and everything grouped together so that I could lift it out for the first recipe and so on.
Cut 2. It was the sniffer dogs. This was my favourite bit.
And when we arrived, there were dogs, and I love dogs, and I was, just ready to go and say... and they all, 3 of them came up with their noses sort of like this, and they were, I thought, oh, come along. But they didn't want to know me. They just began, and then suddenly the airport became empty, and there were just uniformed people, and I was with Lucy Young, my assistant. They parted us, Lucy there, me there, into 2 cells.
Mary Berry in a cell with a selection of packets containing white powder.
happened, you see, I didn't know whether their all-purpose flour was, you know, the same as our flour. That's why I've taken it.
This is why I love her.
Yes.
Because this is why Mary's made, because she wanted to make the greatest cakes possible, so had it already. And is it true? This is my fate. I was just incredulous. They were like, "We need you back on set." I was like, "Somebody else is going to have to do it." You need. And didn't he turn to you and say, "Ma'am, are you expecting to make some money from these white packets?" And you said,
"Oh, I do, and my fee has already been agreed." And that's quite true.
You do get into trouble with the drinking. You do. Now, was it because actually, I have to say, reading about you, you've quite a lot of drinking stories.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, being a sort of a Welsh bachelor in London for 12 years before I moved out to LA, absolutely. I was very young, of course, at the time.
Of course.
I was 21. Well, in fact, I was celebrating my 21st birthday on a pub on the Strand. And at the end of the evening, you know, charging out, as one does, with all your boys down the street. At the time, there was that film, Brave...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. But not the same way.
Yeah. Not the same way. Yeah.
And at the time, there was that film Braveheart out in the cinemas, and I'd seen it. And I noticed this broom sticking out of a bin. I think one of those street sweepers had left it in the bin. So I decided to grab the broom and went charging down the Strand with this broom in hand, shouting, "Freedom!" Got to this lamp post, swung the broom at the lamp post.
You were drunk, weren't you?
I was very
drunk. You really were drunk.
Very, very drunk. Hit the lamp post, and the broom head swung back, came over my shoulder, and smashed the window of the Royal Bank of Scotland.
That's an evening gone wrong.
That's an evening gone wrong. So, panic, you know, ran off down the Strand, the boys following, and then they were pulling my leg. They were saying, "There's security cameras there. Your fingerprints are on the broom, so you better go back there." So off I went back, charging down the Strand, picked up the broom, didn't know where to throw it. Thought, I know, I'll throw it in the Thames. So I ran onto Waterloo Bridge and threw it into the Thames.
And they never caught you?
They never caught. But I got into the cab, we managed to flag a cab, got into the cab, and the boys were ribbing me so badly I started to cry.
Happy 21.
Sad, such a saddo. Yeah.
And now you've told it on television, sort of a confession. It's like crime watch in reverse. When criminals come on television and tell their story. Did you see me do it? But you think that Mary butter wouldn't melt, but she has been a vandal, quite bad vandal.
Listen, I got her
This is
arrested.
bad.
I actually got her arrested. What it was, we were doing. You don't know. What happened was we were at the Birmingham NEC. We just finished doing a demo, and I was staying on to do a book signing. Now Mary left, and she walked past my car. I then
Which is a very posh car.
Yeah, it's a nice car. Yeah. And so she came out, left. As she did, I came out with the security and they said, "Oh, have you seen what's on your car?" And I went, "What do you mean, what's on my car?" Go and have a look at your car. And on the sill of the window, she'd signed "Love Mary" with a Sharpie.
There it is.
Well, you can see. The police officer who was with me turned around and said, do you want to arrest her for criminal damage? I went, "Absolutely." So I said, "Can we leave it 12 months, please?" So the following year, we were at the NEC. And I saw the same police officer and I said, "Listen, we're going on stage in a minute. If you'd like to come on and arrest her, I think you better bring 4 lads. She might get a bit feisty." So I went on stage and I said, and then the police officers came in and they actually handcuffed her and marched her off the stage. I said, "Give it 5 minutes and let her back in." She came in with a bag and then smacked me around.
Good for her. Now, tell me this, Alan. So, for Tar, Cape Blanc just brushed up on her German. You're Italian. No. You were there for 3 months.
Yeah, it was, I kept saying por favor, which is Spanish. I mean, I'm one of those Brits abroad. Donde esta la cheesy chips? That's my level. But no, it was very odd there. We got arrested. I don't know if you haven't binged it on iPlayer. We got arrested. The police pulled us over, and of course the BBC ran over. We're filming. No, stand back. Like this.
Oh.
So we're there.
Is that your Italian accent?
Yes. It was like we were in Rome then, wasn't it? And so we're there, pulled over, and then Amanda just turned into Mae West. I mean, she was like, "Oh, that's a big gun." And I was like, "We're going to get arrested for soliciting now." You know? I bet that buckle needs some buffering. And then he was really nasty with me, and because I was wearing this really ill-fitting green jumpsuit, I looked like a Teletubby, and then they said, "Where do you live? Where are you staying?" Like this. And they still didn't say why they arrested us. And then we gave them the hotel, and we thought that was it. And then 1 a.m. that morning, the police turned up to give Amanda Holden a booty call.
No.
Rang her up 1 a.m. in a hotel room. Thankfully, she didn't pick up. Wow. I complained to the hotel. Why isn't my phone working? There's something wrong with the wire.
Say, lots of the stories you've told on the show are in here. I was particularly pleased that the first story you ever told on the show, about 20 years ago, is in the book. It's the one where you park on a double yellow line for a few moments. Do you know the story I mean?
Oh, yes. Well, that had its repercussions, of course, because, well, I mean, I parked on a double yellow line in Shaftesbury Avenue. It was the day of the state opening of Parliament. And I rushed up to give an audio tape, because, you know, I do audio tapes, to my agent. And I came downstairs. There was a policeman pasting a parking ticket on my windscreen. And I was just furious, because I'd only been there for a minute. And so, you know, I tore it off the windscreen. And I said, "You've got a dick that small." Because I thought the best thing is to insult him as quickly as possible.
Of course.
And he took umbrage, didn't like it, and he arrested me for breach of the peace and parking on a double yellow line. And then he called for help from other policemen, and there were lots about because it was the state opening of Parliament, and, you know, they're mingling around. And so I was taken in a police car to Bow Street Police Station. And there I was arraigned, and they said, "Empty your handbag." And I had a few things in my handbag, and one of them was a packet of peppermints. But they're wrapped in silver paper, you see, and that the detective in charge thought that it was drugs. And he said, "You know, what have we got here, then? That's interesting." And I said, "It's just a packet of peppermints, officer." And he said, "No, I think we better check you out, matron." And he got the matron to come and put me in a room privately. And I knew because I was sharp that she was going to give me an internal examination. I just knew that. Nothing had been said, but I knew it. So when she locked the door, she went out for a bit, I took all my clothes off immediately. Well, you would, you know, if you know you're going to be examined. And she came back in and she said, "You've been here before." And I said, "I have not been here before." She said, "Yes, you have. How did you know to take your clothes off?" And I said, "Well, I know you're going to examine me, aren't you? They called you matron, so I knew something was afoot." So she said, "Anyway, bend down or lie on the couch or something." And she examined me, my front body and my back body. And, of course, they thought I wouldn't like it. But, you know, I'm gay, I have to tell you that. And, of course, it was as if all my Christmases had come at once.